The United Nations Peacekeeping Force in the Democratic Republic of Congo is expected to leave the Central African nation by the end of 2024. The UN peacekeeping mission was asked to leave by the government after allegedly failing to protect the citizens as violence by the M2023 rebels escalated in different parts of the country. As fighting intensified between the government forces and the rebels, concerns were raised as to whether the state would be able to protect its citizens. Let's have more details of that in this report.
UN peacekeepers keep watch over civilians in the DRC's eastern province of North Kivu. The region has been the epicenter of violence between armed groups and government forces since 1996. The UN Security Council authorized the deployment of UN peacekeepers in 1999 to oversee a ceasefire and protect civilians. But a recent escalation in violence by the M23 rebels led the Congolese government to ask the UN force to leave the country for reportedly failing to protect civilians. The UN peacekeeping mission is set to pull out of the DRC by the end of this year.
Déjà en décembre 2023,
we started withdrawing our troops in December 2023. Those of you who have been following the news should know that we closed our base in Lubero, in North Kivu province, and Butembo as well.
The first phase of the withdrawal this year will happen in South Kivu province. The UN Security Council has approved the withdrawal plan of UN peacekeepers from the DRC in line with the request of the Congolese government. But their drawdown is happening amidst increasing violence by armed groups in eastern DRC. Fighting between government forces and the M23 rebels has escalated over the past 2 years. There have been some concerns raised internationally whether the DRC government will be able to protect its population after the departure of the UN troops. But the DRC government says it's up to the task.
I want to assure the Congolese people that the government will not give up. In this term, the DRC will find peace in its eastern part so that we can work together towards substantial development.
The UN troops, known by their French acronym MONUSCO, have faced growing criticism for failing to fight the rebels. Some Congolese are now calling on their government to stop relying on foreign troops.
MONUSCO is not a Congolese army. We citizens have to take charge of our country's security because we have lots of minerals that foreigners are interested in. Some of them will keep fighting us to get them.
The UN peacekeepers are expected to start pulling out of the conflict-torn province of North Kivu after an assessment of their withdrawal from South Kivu is done later this year. The DRC government invited troops from the Southern African Development Community to help its army to fight armed groups carrying out attacks in the country's east. The troops are from Malawi, South Africa, and Tanzania. The armed conflict in eastern DRC has caused a massive humanitarian crisis and raised tensions between the DRC and Rwanda. Both countries have accused each other of supporting rebel groups seeking to destabilize their governments.